Good evening, Philippines. Good morning, good afternoon, world. Welcome to another interesting episode here at the English Blog. My name is Adrian from Makati City, Philippines.
I'm Christine from Daytona Beach, Florida.
And I'm Sarah, an American living in Italy. And today we have two special guests, Divine and Dhevine, both living in Spain and from the Philippines.
So you guys will get to know them more later as we progress. We are the English Blog team. We are a blog of English teachers by English teachers and for English teachers.
Okay, as we said before, we do have two very special guests, Divine and Dhevine, who are Philippine nationals living and working in Spain as ESL teachers. And they know Sarah personally, and we are so thankful to have them on board.
At the English Blog, we provide customized lesson plan making services, life and career coaching sessions, weekly vlog and blog content related to ESL education. If you have any questions about any of our services, message us at our website, www.theenglishblog.com, or at these social media handles.
You can find the English Blog all across social media. We premiere our vlogs on Facebook at English Blog for Teachers on our page as a company. We're also on Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube, where all our videos get posted after they premiere on Facebook. We are also live on the radio at 90.5 Good Vibes FM in Mindanao. So you can listen if you're there. Otherwise, they do have online digital radio that we have linked on our show. And whatever platform you use, please reach out to us, talk to us. If you have questions for Divine or Dhevine, questions about teaching abroad, or ideas for new topics for us to cover, please let us know. We love to hear from you.
And just before we get to our questions, we would like to request Divine and Dhevine to introduce themselves first.
So, hello, good day. My name is Divine and I am 24 years old. And I have been living here in Spain for 3 years now. And this is my third school year as a language assistant. For 2 years, I was in Madrid teaching, and now on my third year, I am currently in Alicante, a part of Valencia.
So I guess that's my cue. My name is Divina, and I've been a language assistant as well for 3 years. My first year was in Burgos, where I met Sarah, and then I transferred in 2019 to Madrid, and I'm still in Madrid and teaching here, loving the Spanish life, and well, that's it. We'll get to know more later.
So just for your information, guys, although their names are closely similar, they are not siblings and they are not twins at all. Okay. And we are giving this episode to you guys in celebration of the International Women's Day. So women power. Woo-hoo. Now let's get to our questions.
Thank you for that wonderful introduction, Divine and Dhevine, and I'm looking forward to learning a lot more about your lives and experiences in Spain. But before we really get into that, I want to know why you chose to live and work in Spain in the first place.
Okay, so in my case, way back in 2018, I didn't really plan in going to Spain, but in that year, I had this opportunity to work here. That year, I applied for Japan as well to work as a factory worker. And at the same time, I also applied as a language assistant here in Spain. So when I was doing both process, I got denied for Japan since some of my documents are not valid for the country. So I pursued Spain, and then luckily I got accepted.
So in the university where I studied, I had a Spanish professor who introduced the program to us. So I didn't know about this before. It was him who introduced the program to the whole class. It was a YOLO moment for me to join the program. because I was actually studying psychology, and I thought it would be a great experience. I never thought I'd be here this long. I thought it'd be just a 1 year thing, and I'd go back and finish my studies and take a master's and take the licensure exam. But then I fell in love with teaching. I fell in love with Spain, so I'm here. So at the same time, I guess it's Spain chose me.
Wow.
Nice.
Yeah. You
You
didn't
ladies
speak.
are really you ladies are really destined to be in Spain. You're saying something, Christine?
Yeah, it's just awesome. First of all, how it was the professor or her professor that introduced her to this opportunity. You really should not underestimate your role as a teacher. You're not only teaching them material, but you're inspiring them and motivating them and introducing them to new things. And that's really the impact that teachers have on their students, and they should not take that lightly. And it's quite amazing. So thank you both for sharing.
What is your guys' typical day like as a teacher in Spain? I know you guys are assistants, which I also was, but I also know you do some extra things too. So tell us about both. What's it like to be an assistant, and what's it like to just be living and working and teaching in Spain?
Okay, so at first it was really strange, and um it's a little bit for me it was strange and challenging because in the Philippines I also used to teach. In the classes, all the lessons, the activities are very challenging. And then I tried to compare it here because on my first week, um, I I presented some activities that we experience or I experienced in the Philippines for this level. And then the teacher told me that, oh no, we cannot do that because their level is too it's too much for their level, which I thought it was great. And then so every day is just so challenging to think of activities that will fit on the student's level. So you have to really open your mind into changes, into those things that you are not used to, because um you have to adapt to the environment, and you have to try to understand your students in a way that they couldn't communicate with you. So you also need to be grasping a lot of things, a lot of emotions. So I think a typical day here in Spain as teacher is just so challenging, as well as you we were or I was in the Philippines.
What
That's
ages do you teach, and what levels?
um I have been teaching primary, and those kids just couldn't some of them can speak English, but not everyone understands, or not everyone can speak. So you really need to try to learn the basics as well. So yeah, they're from 3 to 12 years old.
Wow.
So for me, the typical day as a language assistant would be, it kind of depends really with the teachers that I work with, because some teachers, they would ask the language assistant, for example, in my case, they would ask me to take over the whole class, and then I would have to teach the whole class in English. But then in some cases too, I would take students out for like a one-on-one or a group conversation, and we'd have like mini conversations to practice Cambridge exams or Trinity exams. And it's basically talking to the kids and trying to make them understand English without having to convert to translate what I'm trying to express in Spanish, because especially when you're teaching kids in primaria, in the first level, second grade, sometimes the words just bounce off their head and they're, what are you saying? Like, I don't understand. And then yeah, that's about it. Sometimes like I'd have lunch with some of the teachers, so practicing my Spanish too here in Spain. But yeah, that's the typical day of a teacher, I think.
How many hours do you work in a given day?
Oh,
generally?
so here in Madrid, we work 16 hours a week. So it's just, I work from Tuesday to Fridays, and that's 4 hours from 9 to 2 p.m. with half-hour break from 12 to 12:30. And then I'd have like a vacant hour to like complete or to suffice for the 16 hours of work that I have to comply for the whole week. So it's really easy. It's such a chill job, honestly.
In my case, I work also 16 hours a week. And in Madrid, I used to work from 9 a.m. until 4:30 in the afternoon. And I've got like 2 hours break for lunch. And it's from Monday to Thursday, only 4 days a week. But when I transferred here in Alicante, due to COVID, my tutora or my lead teacher compressed all the hours, and I only work 3 days a week, which is from 9 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, which is very convenient if you wanted to do a lot of part-time jobs, so you have a lot of time to do it as well.
That's so true. Actually, things have changed since the pandemic because before, like, it was going to work, wake up, have breakfast, go to work, go home, go to your extra classes if you have them. But now with the pandemic, I've had to do online classes at school for some of the sections or classes that have had to go into quarantine. So that's kind of crazy because they would ask us to keep our masks on when we're in school. And then when we go into the computer room to teach the online class, we take our masks off. And like some of the rules just don't make sense. It's just crazy since the pandemic.
Yeah, it's changed a lot. I didn't really have to teach during the pandemic, and I don't envy that adjustment.
Those are really interesting stories. Thank you guys for sharing what a typical day of a teacher is for both of you. Our next question is, what are some of the perks and challenges of working in Spain aside from the minimal number of hours that's required? What are other perks and challenges of working in Spain?
Okay, so I think first of all is that it's a new place. So it's a new playground for you. So I live in Cebu. I'm from Cebu, so the place is not so big. And then when I have arrived here in Spain, everything is just new to me. The trains, everything, the road signs, and I think the challenging part there is that I couldn't speak the language very well. So I couldn't understand the signs, and expect that you will get lost sometimes on the street. And there are also some people who would like talk about you, but I think it would help if you learn the language first before coming here, or if you try to learn it while you are here. So I think those are some perks or challenges of working here.
So for me, perks would be like, okay, aside from the great schedule, it's getting immersed into a different culture, but somehow familiar at the same time. Because Spanish people are so warm, they're so nice, but they can be so aggressive too. Like the first meeting that I joined, I really thought that the teachers were having like a row or having an argument, but it was just like it was normal for them. They were, no, it's fine, we were just talking. And I think it's also the language barriers because when I came here I knew very basic Spanish, and it was really challenging living in Burgos where people would seldom talk in English. They would force you to talk in Spanish. So in the same at the same time, I guess, like I had to learn how to develop my language skills in Spanish, and at the same time maintain my English skills to teach at school. And coming from a tropical country with two types of weather, a storm or it's hot, it's really fun to see the seasons change. Like personally, it's just great when the colors change, when there's suddenly a snowstorm, or like the spring, like when spring comes and all the different colors come out, or when it gets really hot in the summer. That's one of the perks, I think, living in Spain.
Nice. I can just imagine. Those are really colorful, descriptive words you guys mentioned. I just have a follow-up question that's not in the slides, and that is, before COVID, what did you guys like to do in your rest and recreation time?
In my case, I didn't usually go out pre-COVID, so I think that's one of my regrets because I was in Madrid and it was like, oh, it's Europe, it's Spain, it's Madrid. I should have went out frequently. So um before I just stay at home because during my free time I used to work. So it's from 9 as I told you earlier, it's from 9 a.m. until 4:30, and then at 5 I go to my private classes, and sometimes it ends at 9. So during those times, I mean during my free times, I just directly go home and take a lot of rest.
So before COVID, wow, things have changed. In the Philippines, I wasn't the party girl. I never went out to like get some beers, or like it would be during the weekends. But when I was living in Burgos, I had these friends who went out a lot. I met some friends who like really like to go out, so they'd take me to these discotheque like clubs, and we'd get cervezas, we'd get beers in the terrace and not worry about wearing a mask. And you'd talk to people in the streets, you'd take a walk in the park without having to wear your mask. And it's just the little things, I think, that like I miss the most, being not like particularly the masks, not wearing a mask all the time. It's so I don't know.
Thank you guys for engaging us with your interesting answers.
I sure know those masks can be annoying, and that's one of the perks of teaching online. You don't really have to worry about masks unless you're doing an online class while in a public setting, because some people do that, like they do their classes while in a cafe. And then what Devine said about not really going out pre-COVID, I know that that can be really tough because when I lived in the UK, I was so excited about living and working there because I did an internship there back when I was in college. And I just imagined myself seeing all the sights of London. And I did, but I did not go out every day after work like I thought I would. I was just so overwhelmed by, even in the UK, cultural differences. From what I was used to in the States, and just being overwhelmed and just being in a new place by myself, not knowing anybody, it can be very overwhelming. And that's something that you don't really hear people talk a lot about. They just talk about seeing all the sights and experiencing a new culture in a new place, but it's a lot to take in. And sometimes we kind of retreat, but it's okay to be uncomfortable. I think it's okay to try to get out and try new things, get out of your comfort zone. So thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, that's really true because especially when you are in Madrid, it's just very convenient to travel because we've got this Bono card or train card where we only pay 20 euros and it's unlimited for a month. But it's if you are only below 25 years old, so you've got a lot of places to see for only 20 euros. So imagine in a month how many places you can go and see. So that's why I think you are in places like this during your free time or free days, you must go out.
So finally, do you guys have any tips or advice for people who specifically want to live and work in Spain? What program did you go with? If you could tell us more about the actual logistics of how to do this, the nitty gritty.
Okay, so for Filipinos, I think opportunities like this are very rare. So in our cases, especially for those people who are from a less fortunate family, so if there are opportunities like this that knocks on their door, we really grab it. Okay, so I believe that working in Spain, my tip is that just try to learn the language, or in any country that you're going to work with, just try to learn the basic. And for us Filipinos, we are just so lucky because 10% or a percent of our language is in Spanish, so it's not that hard. I mean, it's hard, but it's not that hard to learn it. And then just be open minded, and try to be more optimistic in life. And that just try to also go out of your comfort zone, because I know that it's where we grow when we go out of our comfort zone. And then just be tough enough, and just work hard also if you really wanted to pursue your dreams and to try to work here in Spain. And I joined the program in Ministry of Education, Auxiliares de Conversación. And same as Divina, I found it out from our school, from our Spanish teacher. And yeah, so I think that's all, and I'll let Divina say or tell more about it.
Okay, so I just want to talk about what Ate Divine left off. So we both went with the same program that was introduced with our university. And apparently, in this program, you need to be in the universities. There's a list of universities that's working with the government of Spain. So if you would like to join the program, you would have to apply to the list of universities. You would have to go there and find a class that you could enroll in so that you could apply to the program. Because if you're not with one of those universities, it might be difficult. Like, for example, you could work at that university, you could study there, but you have to be connected somehow to that university. And tips. So I remember Christine saying something about like taking time for yourself and just taking it slow, because it's a new place, it's a new country, it's a new culture, it's a new environment. And that's so true. Like, you really have to take your time. You don't have to rush into doing things just because you're there. If you do what makes you comfortable, you do what makes you feel good, and then you come out of your shell and you grow, right, Divine?
Yes, that's true.
Totally agree.
Okay, so as we guys wrap up, thank you so much, Divine and Divina. If you guys who are watching us from the Philippines and all over the world have any questions for them both, please leave it in the comment section and we'll do our best to answer them for you, or have them answer those questions as well. Just don't forget that we provide customized lesson plan making services, life and career coaching sessions, weekly vlog, and blog content related to ESL education. For questions, message us on our website, www.theenglishblog.com, or at these social media handles.
You can find us all across social media. We premiere our vlogs here on Facebook at The English Blog for Teachers. We're also on YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. I just want to mention that we also have a blog article post that we will post with this video about this and other programs open to Philippine nationals. And the one for Spain specifically has a great link to somebody else's blog that is actually a girl from the Philippines who's doing it. And it has really detailed information about how to apply and the deadlines and all that. So if you're really interested, check out the comments of this video. You might also hear us on the radio in Mindanao at 90.5 Good Vibes FM. You can listen to the radio or digitally. We love to hear from you, so reach out and let us know.
And until next time, my name is Adrian from Makati City, Philippines.
I'm Christine from Daytona Beach, Florida.
I'm Sarah, living in Italy. And we have our special guest.
I'm Divine, currently in Alicante, Spain.
And I'm Divina in Madrid.
Reminding you guys to keep learning, stay healthy and happy. Until next time, bye for now.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.